Hello, this is Steve Carlson. I'm the superintendent of Box Elder School District.
Hi, I'm Keith Meekum, the Assistant Superintendent over Secondary.
And I'm Heidi Jo West, Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Schools.
We are presenting this information to you today as a follow-up to the board meeting of last Wednesday on August 14th, when the board submitted a proposal to go for an election, a bond election on November 5th. This bond election is the result of 2 years of intense research, and also part of the committee that's called the Capital Outlay Committee that has put together 5-year, 10-year, 15-year, and even 20 to 30-year plans on the capital needs, the facility needs in Box Elder School District. During that time, the board has sought information from architects, from contractors, from bond counsel, from financiers. We've talked to building administrators and teachers to help us formulate a plan to help meet the needs and provide the voters with the most cost-effective solution for the facilities for the future of this great school district.
One of the needs of this plan is to decrease transition levels. This will improve school start and end times and transportation. Research asserts that moving students between schools has a negative impact on academic gains. Many parents have expressed frustration with the 9 a.m. start time in elementary schools. Bus drivers are also required to stop at 3 levels on their secondary routes. And parents have between 4 and 5 schools to attend to drop off students in the morning and pick up in the afternoon.
Another need that we are worried about is over the last several years, we have made great strides to replace older buildings that fall into a category called unreinforced masonry, and that would be buildings built prior to 1973. We need to make the changes necessary at this time, especially in these 4 schools, North Park, Lakeview, Bear River Middle, and Box Elder Middle School. They are primarily unreinforced masonry. Although they are safe enough to have kids in them, if there was an earthquake, unfortunately, those buildings would be in a tough spot. So these are the last 4 buildings that were constructed prior to 1973.
Our buildings are overcrowded, which has resulted in principals and administrators getting really creative about how to add general classrooms back into the spaces that are necessary. This has caused a loss of learning spaces for prep periods such as PE, music, computer, art, STEM, as well as special education. Every elementary school is tight for space. We do not have adequate or appropriate instructional space for SLPs, OTs, psychs, behavior units, functional skills, preschool, and resource classrooms. These programs are often held in smaller itinerant rooms or combined. We have taken out computer labs, art rooms, music, and STEM rooms to make room for additional classrooms in an effort to keep our class sizes smaller and provided additional kindergarten through 5th grade classrooms. As a result, the preps are being pushed into the classroom, which results in teachers not having a quiet place to prepare for upcoming lessons. Currently, Lakeview has 6 portables and has run out of room to add any additional classrooms. North Park has 8 portables, which is decreasing the play space available to students. Class sizes are being kept at a reasonable number in elementary schools by getting really creative about space. However, the growth and need is continuing, and we need a solution to maintain class sizes.
At the secondary level, you probably have seen as you've driven around, we have portables at both Bear River High School, Box Elder High School, Bear River Middle School. And although you haven't seen it at Box Elder Middle School, they have combined 5 classrooms, eliminated computer labs, and have had teachers split and share a room to create space for the growth. Obviously, we know that back when these buildings were built in 1965, CTE opportunities are not what they are now. And so this is a need that we feel like we need to address as we move forward.
The grade reconfigurations are going to be helpful in the fact that from the state level, there's really grade bands of the Utah core that we really would like to match. And as you can see underneath the academic mastery, that we have more of a K through 5 level, and 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 12. And so this matches much more closely to the content that we'll be teaching in the classrooms, that matches very much with the state guidelines. Having grades 9 through 12 also allows us to plan more effectively for graduation. It's really hard when kids are in the 9th grade and they are in the middle school to explain to them and let them know that you have to have these credits in order to be able to graduate. If they have trouble and if they maybe fail a class, it's so hard to remediate them in the 9th grade. And it's extremely important to try to have them together with their counselors right there. Also, the athletics that we have in the state of Utah allows 9th graders to participate in the high school classes. So to have them together for athletics and all of the other activities, the drill team, the dance, the cheer, all those types of things, drama, theater, all those things would be much better to have them together in the same building.
The new designs of the buildings for K5, 6, 8, and 9, 12 will allow for a soft transition for the 6th grade and 9th grade students. These grades will be kept separate from other grades. Their core classrooms will be separated from the upper grades, and lunch times will be separate as well. 6th grade students will not share classrooms or non-instructional time with 7th or 8th grade, and 9th grade will have limited interaction with students in the older grades. This will also allow for the elementary start time to be moved to 8:45 and the end time to be 3:05. Last year, a team of elementary teachers and admin took a possibilities walk through the intermediate schools with our facilities director. At that time, the teachers were optimistic about the space that was provided. They pointed out many positives, including having additional space to hold PE or bigger rooms. Space for special education services and options for interventions were obvious to the teachers. They did recognize that we would need to add some cabinets, change some furniture, and update and retrofit lockers to be replaced for coat hooks and cubbies. Overall, the changes would be very minimal and are worked into the cost of the proposed bond. A boundary realignment will need to be considered as we near the end of the project based off of the current growth and residential development.
Now, a little bit more about the new construction. Obviously, in this plan, we are proposing the construction of 2 middle schools. These will be built on new sites, and the bond will allow us to purchase this land to accommodate these buildings. By bringing an extra grade into both the north and south ends, having a larger property acreage will help us to accommodate these new schools. Again, grades 6, 7, and 8, just so you know, academically, none of the kids share these grades, and therefore they will be having classes in a different part of the building. We cannot minimize all interactions that a 6th grader might have with a 7th grader or a 7th with an 8th, etc. But most likely, kids would only see occasionally during some common spaces from time to time. At Bear River High and at Box Elder High, we have to bring 9th grade in, which is going to be roughly 20 new classrooms at Bear River High and around 30 classrooms at Box Elder High. And we've looked at the grid and the different property situations there, and our architects feel very comfortable that adding these new spaces will be possible and will be very natural in upgrading the 9th grade wings there. Obviously, Bear River High and Box Elder High have CTE spaces currently. We will look again to update and actually add new rooms to help provide a safe and a state-of-the-art programs for the 21st century. All this project will ensure that AC is installed in all of our schools. During the COVID time, we had some ESSER funds that we designated to start upgrading AC in our buildings, and many of our buildings received that. However, there wasn't enough money offered to provide for all the buildings, so some of the bond money will go towards installing air conditioning in all those schools.
We'd like to add the 81% of voter respondents were in support of the reconfiguration of the grade bands.
Once again, I'd like to reiterate that just last week, the Board of Education on August 14th voted to go for this bond initiative. And it's our desire to encourage you to vote. We found out that ballots will be mailed out on October 15th. They need to be postmarked by November 1st if you choose to use the paper ballot, or vote in person on November 1st. Thank you very much for your support, and we appreciate you.